It's 6:40 in the evening. You're outside a convenience store, holding a $5 bill, about to grab an energy drink or a scratch-off ticket. $5 is the exact price of not having to decide. You scratch the ticket in the parking lot, find out it's a loser, and by tomorrow, you won't even remember it happened. That's the entire point. It's an amount that vanishes without leaving a mark. But let's imagine a different Tuesday. Same store, same $5. Only this time, you walk past the counter, sit in your car, and open an app. You move that $5 into an index fund, a single basket that owns a tiny sliver of every large company on Earth. Staring at a balance of exactly $5 looks a bit absurd. There's no rush, no immediate dopamine hit. You feel slightly foolish, like a man planting a single seed in an empty field and calling it a farm. You set it to transfer automatically every day. Over a month, about $152 leaves your account. The strange part is, that money was going to disappear either way. You simply changed where you were pointing it. This chart shows the brutal reality of early-stage investing. After one full year, you've put in $1,825 of your own money. The market, while you slept, added a tiny fraction right next to it, exactly $75. It's a number so small, it almost feels like an insult. A friend texts you a screenshot of a coin that shot up 400% in a single week. He calls your boring strategy cowardly. But a few months later, that massive spike collapses back to zero, and he stops bringing it up entirely. By year 10, the broader market crashes. You lose a third of your balance in a matter of weeks. More money erased on paper than you earned all year at your day job. Your response requires a highly specific skill. You simply don't open the app. You keep the $5 daily transfer running, buying the same assets while they are heavily discounted. You realize you aren't being brave. You are just bored enough to do absolutely nothing. During this first decade, enduring that boredom turns out to be the rarest skill in finance. Looking at this area graph mapping your progress to year 15, we see a critical intersection point. Your balance reaches about $52,600. For the first time in your life, the account holds more money than you actually fed into it. A coworker gets laid off that spring with no safety net to catch him. Suddenly, your balance stops looking like a far-off retirement calculation. It becomes a silent, immediate wall between you and the kind of bad year that ends in total panic. By year 20, the math accelerates. The money the market gives you organically over a 12-month span now scales up and rivals what you deposit by hand. You're still putting in $5 a day, but your account has quietly started working a second job you never explicitly assigned to it. Year 30 is the threshold where the math permanently flips. From this point forward, in a strong year, the account grows more from its own massive size than you could possibly add by hand. Even if you doubled your daily contributions, your manual input would pale in comparison to the compound interest. You spent decades pushing a stone uphill, $5 at a time. Now the stone is coasting downhill under its own weight. The thing you built is finally bigger than the building of it, and you have become a pure passenger to your own balance. This donut chart shows the final 40-year balance of $531,000. Breaking it down, the sliver represents your total manual contributions, exactly $73,000. The massive outer section is the $458,000 of invisible compound growth. That enormous section of growth required no extra hours at the office. You didn't get lucky, and you didn't time a market bottom. You simply skipped a convenience store purchase 40,000 times in a row, letting the smallest possible amount sit in the most boring possible place. Your old coworker retires the same year you do. He worked the exact same shifts and earned the exact same salary. Over 40 years, he spent his $5 a day on thousands of small comforts, ultimately burning through the exact same $73,000. He is left with a lifetime of scattered, forgotten pleasures and a standard pension. You have those same basic comforts, mostly, but you also have $500,000 sitting quietly behind you, functioning like a second person who has been working on your behalf the entire time. The only price of this wealth was the willingness to be incredibly slow. That $5 bell in the parking lot was never insignificant. It was a daily, compounding question, quietly deciding exactly which life you would eventually walk into.